Going to be doing a pack unpacking video today, so I'm going to show you exactly what goes into my pack on my hunting trips. So here we are today, we're on a 3-day hunting mission about 20 kilometers into the mountains. So I've got an Osprey pack here. This thing is pretty bomb proof. I've had it for about 3 years. That zip's broken, a couple of the clips are gone, but man, it's had an absolute flogging and it still goes pretty well. Also, you can unhook the top of the bag, that becomes a day pack. Haven't used that feature much though, just because when I'm going for a day mission anyway, I've got my spotting scope, rifle, first aid kit, all the gear anyway. So the big pack is a lot more handy because you've got room to carry a bit of meat out and whatnot too. So the old day pack just doesn't really get used. Moving on, we have the electronics, cell phone. Obviously that's very handy for texting now. I'm on 1NZ, so I use that a fair amount for texting, especially when I'm solo. Got an Army Tech handheld torch, all the cables to charge everything. Now that Army Tech torches are beasts, man. I've got a head torch as well, which I normally run. I've taken it out on 3 different diving trips, using it looking for crayfish and cray holes. About an hour each trip, and that thing has just held up so well. Anchor, I've always looked and tried to find a good power bank. This one here is really good, rather expensive. I think they're about 250 bucks, but you get 4 charges from your cell phone out of it, and you don't have to worry about running out of power anyway while you're out just for a few days or 5 days or whatever. Lead lens, a head torch, most people know what those are. Garmin InReach, these things are good, but they're getting a little bit outdated because of the cell phones now being able to do so many things. And in here we have just a whole heap of everything. Microfiber towel, always handy. Never know when you're going to need one of those. Dry right off after a trip. As soon as I get home I always wipe myself, dry myself off, put some clean dry clothes on. Now we have our Beavercraft knife, custom leather sheath, man. This thing is so good, such a good hearty knife. I've used that a lot of times and never had any problems with it. So strong, so solid, bloody good. All round knife actually, that one. And then also I've just got a bit of string there too. Mosquito repellent, depending on what time of the year it is. If it's the summer, you're obviously going to have that and sunblock as well, but this time of the year, mosquito repellent. As you can see, they're going pretty crazy at the moment. Bit of duct tape, there's not much you can't fix with a bit of duct tape. A couple of lighters. This lighter here is maybe a bit high tech for the mountains, but anyway. Then we've got my bino harness on the front. Got some Leopold BX2 Alpines 10 to 42, pretty awesome for picking up animals. And then also rangefinder Leopold RX 2800. Now I've tried a couple of different rangefinders and a couple of different pairs of binos. One of the pairs was actually quite a good brand. They just weren't doing it. They were fogging up and carrying on. And also rangefinders as well. I had another brand of rangefinder, quite a reputable one as well. Can't remember exactly what it was called, but couldn't pick up distances in snow. And most of the time when you're hunting tahr, you're up here looking around in the snow, and if you can't get a reading on the snow, well, it's no good really anyway. First aid kit. Now with our first aid kit, we have in here ultralight, lightweight survival shelter. Now if you're in the mountains and a blizzard comes in, you're stuck, you need help straight away, you're about to start freezing. Is your PLB going to save you? Maybe not, probably not. It's going to help, they're going to get there. When they're going to get there though, you don't know. If you've got this here, you can just pull this straight over yourself and it's pretty much just a portable tent. That there will most definitely save your life if you get caught out. The PLB, obviously always have a PLB. You never know when you're going to need one of these things. The old brag mat. First aid kit, always have a first aid kit. You never know when you're going to cut yourself and need that. Always handy to have a first aid kit. And then also we've got extreme liner here. Oh look, there's a wicker right there too. So I run a Rab Ascent 700 sleeping bag. Pretty good. I think the comfort rating's about -2. I have tented a -17 before. With it, I did have this thermoreactive liner, which they do say adds a few degrees onto it. I was wearing merino long johns, top, t-shirt, jersey, puffer jacket, beanie, and I was only just on the line. So I don't know, probably the best thing to do is just not go camping in negative 17 degrees. Fuel container, and I only ever run just a cooker on the top. So if I'm ever boiling water, I just use my pan, boil the water on top. I've never ever had a problem with that. Also just got my bowl, knife and fork, and cup. Seat of some ultralight insulated sleeping mattress. Probably not the best out there. Definitely does all I need it for, but they'd definitely be better on the market if you're looking to get one and spend a bit of money. Obviously a water bottle, sill tarp. Definitely don't need to take that every time. It is handy if you've got a bit of string, and you can just set that up and sleep under it if you had to. Not ideal in the winter down here especially though. Hunter's Element gaiters, can't go wrong with those. These here are definitely the best gaiters. I went through about, I want to say, 4 sets of gaiters in 18 months, maybe a few years ago before I started making videos and stuff. And Stony Creek, Rab even, there was at least one more. They were just not the best in the world. Lower boots, these things here are pretty indestructible as well. Can't really go wrong with those. And also I always carry a pair of Crocs as well, lemon handy. So food, whatever you want really. I never ever take dehydrated meals. I just don't really enjoy them, or they're probably exact same nutritional value and everything. I'll just take sausages or salami and pass spaghetti, make a bolognese, or sausages and brown onion gravy and a bit of potato flakes or something like that. The options are unlimited anyway. For clothing, I always would definitely recommend merino clothing. You cannot go past a good merino thermal or a merino jersey. You've always got to have a puffer in there as well, and at least one jacket. Sometimes I take my Stowit jacket as well. That's pretty handy, packs down to nothing. Stony Creek Stowit. Kuyu gear, man, you can't go past that. And merino doesn't have to be the $180 merino thermal that old George is wearing. It can just be a $30 Warehouse or Posty Plus. They do the exact same thing. And then moving on to the rifle, we have Sarco 7mm rem mag with a Leopold Vex 5 on the top of it. So this gun here does not get looked after by any means, but it just does not go out of sight. Oh, we've got a DPT suppressor on the end as well. So we're running Hornady 150 grain projectiles with Norma brass, reloaded 22. I could be wrong there. Don't go putting that in your rifle, but I think it's reloaded 21 or 22. And yeah, these bullets are humming. They go about 3,275 feet per second. So she's got pretty good hitting power right out to about 700, and it is shooting lasers as well. Also got a spirit level on the top. A lot of people may not use a spirit level, but if you're going to dial your scope up, if you're going to dial it, I don't know, past 5, you're probably going to need a spirit level on it, because if you're offline and you've dialed it all the way up, well then you're dialing it actually out on an angle as well. And in these mountains it's nearly impossible to tell if you're vertical or if you're slightly off. So definitely would recommend putting a spirit level on there. That's probably the best thing that I ever did. Couple things I forgot to mention in this video is a spotting scope and tripod. You're likely to see at least 4 times more animals using a spotting scope opposed to binoculars, and also a good solid 10. Sweet guys, catch you later.